Hey, what's going on, film fans? Welcome back to our channel. We are the usual skeptics here. We're back again with another installment of Hollywood Minutes. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. We're here to talk movie reviews, entertainment news, all that sorts of good stuff. Got a lot to talk about. Before we get into all that, Wes, how are you doing today, my friend?
I'm doing good, buddy. Doing good, my friend. Yeah, good to be back on a regular schedule, doing this stuff for you guys. And for us, really. We both really love doing this stuff for you guys. And I hope everybody had a happy Halloween. And eating up all your kids' candy like I did.
Mm-hmm.
I call it dad tax. But speaking of Halloween, man, I think we should get into the first thing because we got a lot of stuff we got to talk about, like you said. Halloween, you know we think about horror movies and everything else like that. Gabe, why don't you tell them what we're going to talk about first here?
All right. So if anyone's known me for any period of time, it's I'm not the biggest fan of horror. It's just one of those genres that really don't click well for me. My favorite horror film is probably most recently Hereditary. Uh, it Chapter One, It Chapter Two was completely atrocious, but is what it is.
What?
I didn't like it. I couldn't stand it too. Anyhow, Hereditary, It Chapter One, Saw is probably my favorite horror film. Ask me again tomorrow, I might say the original Halloween, but
Good choice.
one of the major significant recognizable horror franchises is Friday 13th. Well, we got news that the other day that we're getting a prequel series, Crystal Lake. So I have some thoughts about this, but this this news comes to us from Variety here. So Friday 13th prequel series, Crystal Lake from Brian Fuller, ordered at Peacock. Now, if you recognize Brian Fuller, he's done the most recent Star Trek stuff. He's done some Heroes, lot of good stuff there. Hannibal, so very recognizable writer in the business. So that does intrigue me here, and I'll give my thoughts here in just a second. But we're not going
And
to waste.
also,
Oh yeah,
and
go ahead.
also, and you'll know in this article it says it, but one of the original producers for the original Friday the 13th is going to be in this too. Like,
Yes.
he's going to be doing that as well.
Yep.
I'm a huge I love horror movies. Like, if anybody knows me, I really do enjoy them. I'm excited about this. So I want to, we can read through it and everything, but
Mhm.
like, I am a horror movie buff. That's what I like grew up liking. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? So, and that's one of the ways that me and him differ.
it is.
Different strokes for different folks, man. But I really do enjoy it, man. I think that
That's right.
it's it's going to be good. Hopefully, cross our
Alrighty.
fingers. You know what I'm saying?
Well, let's see what this article says. It gives a little insight of what's going on here. So, our friends here at Variety. So, Peacock has given a straight to series order to a Friday 13th prequel currently titled Crystal Lake. Exact plot details are being kept under wraps, although it's described as an expanded prequel. The show will be written by Brian Fuller, who was just mentioned, who is also the showrunner and an executive producer. So, it's going to be ran by Brian. To me, Brian's a massive talent in the industry with television and stuff like that. So that's a plus for me. Victor Miller, who penned the original frame, which is what Wes was just talking about, in the franchise, will also executive produce along with Mark Toberoff. Might be pronouncing that wrong. Rob, sorry, Barzamain and A24. That's number two reason that I'm pretty excited that they got A24 behind this as well. Will also serve as the studio behind the series. Friday 13th is one of the most iconic franchises in movie history, and we were dying, see what you did there, to revisit the story with our upcoming drama series, Crystal Lake, said Susan Rovner, chairman of entertainment content for NBC Universal, basically the parent company of Peacock. We can't wait to get to work with Brian Fuller, a gifted visionary creator who I've had the pleasure of being a longtime friend and collaborator, along with our incredible partners at A24 in this updated version for Peacock that will thrill longstanding fans of the franchise. So it doesn't really go on much more down here. Kind of goes into Brian Fuller's past work, with his writing and stuff like that. It talks about a little bit of the history of these
Jason.
films, Jason,
Yeah.
Jason X, things like that. But Wes, so a couple of my general thoughts on this, just right quick, is no, I'm not the biggest horror fan, right? So on first glance, I would look over this. But here's the reason we're talking about it. Two reasons. Number one, Brian Fuller. his I've seen his name several times in the past. Like I said, his work on Hannibal. Hannibal's fantastic. Not the biggest Star Trek fan, but I have a lot of friends that love Star Trek, love the most recent Star Trek, and you know, very have nothing but nice things to say about him. So I'm pretty excited when it comes to that. And like I said, he's worked on Heroes. So that's something I'm pretty excited about. Reason number two, like I already said, A24 is behind this. One of the studios kind of pushing this forward. So to have him as a showrunner, I may be wrong, but this might be his first time as a showrunner. Either way, this to me is just fantastic news. This definitely gets me on board. I was one of those kids who, now I'm not crapping on horror, nothing like that. I'm just saying, in general, horror doesn't really pique my interest per se. Like I said, Hereditary, awesome. It Chapter One, awesome. Saw most of the films in the franchise, awesome. I love Final Destination. I'm just saying that most horror nowadays doesn't really bode well for me. But they're taking a unique approach to this, to a prequel series. Wes, do you see any negatives to this? What's your general thoughts? I know you're excited, but what are some kind of, are you a
So,
little pessimistic about anything?
um, no, I'm really excited about this after reading about it and everything. Whenever you sent it to me today and all that good stuff. So, the biggest thing that I like about horror movies is is the suspense. You know what I mean? I'm not much of, I mean, you know, gore and stuff like that. Like, it does pique my interest because I love the effects, makeup type deal that goes along with all these and everything like that. But I mean, whenever it comes down to the writing and producing and all that, I want somebody who's going to capture my attention. Now, you mentioned Hannibal, which is a great series, awesome. But you know, having these two collaborate and doing this, I think that we're in for a treat, to be honest, if they do it correctly. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Um, and one of the big things is, Jason's an iconic figure. And to be honest, the first movie of Friday the 13th didn't even really have the mask or anything else. You know what I mean? Like if you go back and watch it, which I don't know
oh
if
yeah,
you have or not.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it's mainly about his mother doing most of the
right,
killing and doing that,
right,
which is crazy. And people now all they're fixated on is the mask,
right.
and the machete, obviously. You know what I mean? So, it'll be interesting to see how they put this story together. I think that it'll be really, really good because I mean, if you watched Hannibal, Hannibal was all about it was pretty much a prequel as well,
Right.
and done very well. You mentioned some films that you kind of liked and all that, and those are good and everything like that. But some of the new ones, I agree with you, have not been
Not
up
been
to
the
par.
best.
They've not been the best. I mean,
Yeah.
Hereditary, very, very good. Now, I will say, I watched one the other day. You need to go watch it. Barbarian,
I've heard,
total different approach
uh,
a
yeah,
horror film.
I've heard some great things. Definitely
It's
have that on
amazing.
the watch list. Yeah,
It's amazing.
definitely
So
for
anyway,
sure.
going back to this article, um, dude, I don't know. I don't really have. I mean, I'm always kind of on the fence with new series as it is,
Yeah.
um, because of you know Marvel, but it can go in a very, very wrong direction. But I don't really with these two. I don't really see it happening because number one,
Yeah.
you've got you've got what's his name, Fuller,
Mhm.
right? That's his last name, right? I'm doing that right. Is that correct? Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm right.
Yeah.
Okay, so Fuller and then Victor, who are basically collabing. One has been on the very first film, so he
Mhm.
can take that and take his knowledge from that first film and say, okay, this will work or this won't work.
Right.
And if they collab together, it can be a cohesive story where it's actually good for the fans that do enjoy these and like because I don't want to sit here and watch a series and I'm like, well, this totally negates everything that happened in this movie and you know what I mean? Because I mean, let's be honest, some of the Jason movies weren't very good at all. Jason Goes to Hell was awful.
Hey, my
Um,
favorite's Jason X. I love that one. Send anything to space. I'm in.
Garbage. Um, oh, it wasn't
Hey,
good either.
hey.
But I'm just saying, like, you know, man. So, but
Well,
you know,
let me ask you this.
yeah.
You as excited as you are, and
Mhm,
this is coming from someone who, even though I am the target audience, I do watch things like this. I'm just saying from a general standpoint, this seems like something that I think can work. I think with the talent behind it, I do think
mhm.
that there's something good here. Who knows? It could be trash. Peacock is actually a great service. They a lot of great stuff. I'm a subscriber. I like some of the stuff on Peacock. It's great.
Yellowstone, man.
Yellowstone. There's look. Can this be a piece of crap? Absolutely. But it could be one of the best things to come out of this. But the one thing I will say that's really stand out to me as far as hold up, who knows? We can get a trailer, we can get a cast announcement, we can get anything to make us go, okay, take that and take that worry, put it out the window. But the one thing that really stands out for me is what what's there really to tell as a prequel series? I'm not the biggest fan of prequel storytelling either. However, come off House of Dragon is awesome, but with a prequel to Friday 13th, the original film is what they're saying is a prequel to. I haven't seen that movie in a while. Wes, do you think there's anything to kind of connect it to? Do you think there's any story elements that they can bring to the table? I can't think of anything on top of my head of what they can tie in to the original film.
Oh,
Um,
I mean, like you're talking, you're seeing how Jason grew up. You're going to be able to see
True,
how the mother's psyche was throughout this whole
because
thing.
as you
You
point out, she was really the main part of the
know,
original film, so there could be a lot to
correct.
expound on there. Maybe they can turn it around and make it more of a psychological thriller instead of more of a
That's what I'm
horror.
thinking.
Maybe kind of
That's,
handle it from like a Hereditary angle. Who knows? Maybe that'll.
but
Um,
that's what I was thinking. If they do
yeah,
that, that makes more sense. Instead, I mean, obviously, there's going to be, you know, you're talking about Jason. There's going to be killings. There's going to be stuff like that.
perhaps.
But if they do it in a methodical way, where they,
Maybe they can do
do
it
it.
where he's a child.
Correct.
You
That's
know.
what I'm saying. That's what I
Yeah.
think it's going to be.
Right.
Because in that, if it's a prequel to the first movie, he has to be a child. He can't be Jason.
Right.
He can't. Now, he can if they're doing flashbacks. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Where it's a prequel, whatever. I don't really like that idea. I think that it would be more fun, like if it was an actual prequel where you saw Jason and how, because he was a deformed kid and,
Yeah.
having trouble in school and
Bully.
doing these things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that excites me because like I said, I love effects makeup and like how they do those things.
Oh yeah.
So, but I just feel like it may be more, we think it's going to be about Jason, but it actually may be more about, you
Kind of
know,
flip the
his
script on
mom,
itself,
his
and
mom's,
yeah.
and those the camp, you know, counselors and stuff
Yeah.
that were in that whole thing. So,
I think there's a lot of good that can come out of this. Who knows? I mean, you ask. This is something that's probably not coming till. This is going to be very low budget. I think they're going to move pretty quick on it because horror is, despite my opinion of what I think of horror, it's a very bankable. I wouldn't say franchise, but horror is a very bankable genre to tackle if you get the audience to watch it. If you get them to subscribe to Peacock to watch it, because that's the only way that they're going to keep this going. So, the question is to you all: what do y'all think about this? Are you excited for this this prequel series? Let us know in the comments. Let us know what you think, and leave your thoughts there. All right, Wes, let's go ahead and jump on to probably the biggest news to come out of this weekend. So, just to preface everything, I am not the biggest, not gonna say the biggest fan, but I'm kind of late to the Witcher party. I never got a chance to get to the show. I know you have, so a lot of this is going to come from your perspective. However, on my end, I love Henry Cavill. Him in Man of Steel, Man from Uncle. Henry Cavill has done some amazing work. I've had friends of mine who like yourself who love The Witcher and just rave about his performance. Going into season 3 coming up here soon. Well, I'll say soon. It's probably going to be another several months. Anyhow, we've had 2 seasons with Henry Cavill. We all know he shows up in Black Adam. He, with all that going on, he's back as Superman. They're in early development for a Superman franchise. Well, news came out this weekend that Henry Cavill is no longer part of The Witcher. So he's Netflix came out, they done announced it, they even announced who's replacing him, which is Liam Hemsworth, Thor's brother. So that'll be a little interesting, and I got some thoughts on there, but nothing really too crazy. But the real big reason is, why did it leave? Now a lot of people are speculating, okay, well, maybe Superman. Well, look, let me tell you, most actors don't work on just one project a year. Most actors, it's not like they're the director where they have to be
They
on
make
this
time,
film
man.
every day for 2, sometimes 3 years straight. It's not like they're a main producer or director or something like that. They're actors. They're only there for maybe 4 to 6, maybe even 12 weeks of shooting, depending on how big the project is. It being a Superman film, you're looking at probably 2 months, maybe, or more for a big budget film. Okay, that leaves 10 months left to do whatever, right? Well, there is word coming out that, the kind of rumor speculating, nothing really concrete, but just speculating that maybe Henry Cavill left due to him not liking the way things were going at The Witcher. So let us take a look at this article here, and let's, Wes, I want to get your thoughts on this, but let's take a look here and see what they have to say. This comes to us from Forbes. It's kind of circulating around, but this is kind of the one that people kind of redirect and kind of source. So this comes from Eric Kane, who I've been following for quite a while. So seeing this, I thought, okay, so there might be something that's said here, and I'm not confirming nor denying anything. Just telling you what I'm seeing here. And Wes, give your thoughts here in just a second.
The
Um,
thing is like, I came in and talked to you about this,
you did,
whenever the other day,
yeah.
and you're like, "Oh, he's leaving because of Superman." I was
It could
like,
be Superman,
"No, bro," and I
right?
was like, "No, bro." I was like that's
Right.
not why he's leaving. Before we get into this, I mean, to reference everything, like, yeah, I've watched the movie, or not the movie, the series, and played the video game. So, seeing some of the stuff they're doing on film, me as a fan, I'm like, okay, they're going off the rails and going somewhere where it doesn't need to be. So,
Right. And
let's
there
read
have
on
been,
this.
yeah, there have been just it don't really say much in here about it, but there have been reports of Henry Cavill wanting, the showrunner, talking to her and, wanting to send this character. This look, this is coming from someone who has not seen the show. I have not played the games. I have not read the books. I have no idea. But from what I'm hearing is from my close friends who love this show, this is kind of a big deal.
It is a
I
big
think
deal.
everybody's playing the right cards as far as how they're approaching it. But let's take a look at this article here and kind of go from there and see what it says. Again, this comes from Forbes. The big news this weekend for fantasy fans and Netflix subscribers is the departure of Henry Cavill from The Witcher, a show he once championed. So already hinting at it right there. Cavill, a massive fan of the books and video games that inspired the Netflix show, seemed to be born to play. Wes, you might correct me if I'm wrong. The part of
Gerald.
Geralt, is it
Yeah.
Geralt? Okay, Geralt of Rivia, which is interesting given he also seems born to play the role of Clark Kent. Superman, absolutely greatest live action Superman we've ever had. Just letting y'all know that. It's to that role that he is now returning after season 3 of The Witcher, handing the reins and white wig over to Liam Hemsworth in what can only be described as the most bizarre, most crushing recasting in modern memory. I don't know if I agree with that, but I do think it is a major deal. I do.
It's not
As
good.
as the writer noted previously, I don't think Netflix's The Witcher will survive this. I don't think it's true. And that's not a knock against Hemsworth. It's just too radical a change. It will be extremely jarring. That I could agree with. Along with the rest of the Witcher fandom, I've been mulling over what could possibly cause Cavill to walk away from a dream project like this. The obvious answer, of course, is that he's returned to the DCU as Man of Steel. We mentioned that, Wes, we mentioned that a while ago. Superman is a big deal, a time consuming project, and one that likely pays better than The Witcher. But news of his return to DC is very fresh. I wanted to make it official, Cavill said. I am back as Superman. He posted that on October 24th. Thank you for your support and thank you for your patience. I promise it will be rewarded. This came alongside Dwayne The Rock Johnson's admission that he fought for years to bring Cavill back as Superman. We fought for years for you to come back. They said no, but under the new DC leadership, they said yes. Yada yada yada.
Yeah, but I was about to say, just blow.
Yeah, it's just yada yada. So a lot of this down here is kind of him basically speculating that, look, there's been a lot of talk, and when it's getting the attention of a Forbes, of a comic book resources, who they're very good at what they do over there, is, to me, this is a big deal. I don't know if I agree with him as this being the most bizarre recasting thing. I don't think that. I do think it's one of
No,
the
or House of Dragon takes the cake on that. But anyway,
but seriously though, I mean, this is a big deal. Wes, as a fan of the show, does this change your perception of, because we're getting him again in season 3, but they're just saying after season 3, because as far as I know, season 3 is not out yet, right?
no, it's not out. So
Okay.
the biggest ordeal is, man, like just like the article says, like, I think that Henry Cavill being he like played the game as well. He played the game, and he knows
Yep.
the comics and stuff. Like, he knows all of those. He's a big fan of it, and he's sitting here going to the execs like, hey, like the source material. Like, if you're not going back to the source material of what everybody knows in that realm, then you're veering away, and fans are going to be like, well, this isn't right. Like, this isn't how things go in the game or in the comics. So, and it's way out in left field. It's not like something that's just like, oh, well, this could happen, blah blah blah. Like, for instance, the Walking Dead series. They have a lot of stuff that is the same and
Right.
a lot of stuff that is different.
It's
but it
adaptation.
works.
It's
But it
adaptation.
works.
Yep.
But because it's still in the source material.
Right.
Now, if you if you watch, that show, and what if they brought in aliens? You know what I mean? Then you're going to be like, wait, what? Like, what happened? And it's sort of the out and left field type stuff that I'm talking about with The Witcher. It's way out in left field, and like, if you're reading that article, it says that there's reports that Henry Cavill went to the execs and was like, "Hey, we need to, like, I really want to bring it back to the source material of what it needs to be," and they're just kind of blew him off. So I think that he knew long before this whole Superman thing that he was stepping away from that role.
Right.
You know what I mean?
There is something I do want to touch on. There is something that I want to kind of, to your point, because I think it's important, is when you're an actor and you sign on to a project, if you're smart enough, which most actors are, they're going to read the script. Okay. They're going to read it. They're going to go, okay, I want to do it. Maybe not just for money, but for it's a character that I want to do. Like you said, he's a huge fan of the franchise. He's a book reader. He builds PCs. He's a stud muffin, is what my wife calls him. So he's great, right? However, when you're an actor and you don't, even though film is a collaborative process, it takes part of everybody's work. But if everything is in alignment, you're going to come out with something, hopefully pretty special. But when you're the actor and you're going, oh, I'm the actor, the showrunner, better listen to me, that's when I get a little bit of, like, really? You're not the one calling the shots. The showrunner and directors are, in this case, the showrunner. So, however, just saying, Cavill's not doing that here. From what these reports are saying, you and I don't know what's going on behind it. You watching this have no idea what's going on behind the scenes. We have no idea. We're just here speculating. We're just here trying to just get an idea of how crucial this could be, because the timing of it is a little off. But we'll get into that here in a second. But one thing I do want to mention is, and that goes to my point, is right here in this article, if you read right here, Cavill is a huge fan of the Witcher books and video games. This is important. As the show drifted further and further away, this is key, from the source material, There were murmurings of Cavill was unhappy and signs that the actor would like to hew closer to the character as he was originally written. To me, that is key. We'll get to that here in just a second. A former writer producer on the show recently publicly stated that some of his colleagues actively disliked the source material. Given what a huge fan of that source material Cavill is, it's not hard to put two and two together. So then he goes on to talk about his theory. Wes, this is what I want to talk about right here is, on one hand, actors shouldn't go and be like, "Oh, I'm the actor. I'm the talent. You listen to me. You let me be the actor." I don't think Cavill's doing that here. I don't think this is the case. If this is true, again, everything's speculating. That being said, Cavill is a fan of the franchise. And in here, it's speculation that, they were drifting further and further away from how the character was originally written. This is coming from someone who has not seen the show. So I have no idea. But I'm also the first one to tell you that adaptation is key. It's not going to be exactly like the game. It's not going to be exactly like the books. It's not going to be exactly like the comic books or whatever the medium is.
Gabe, like the thing is, Gabe, like I think that we as fans of the game and of the source material, we want an adaptation. We don't want the same story we just played in a video game.
Right.
That's stupid.
Right.
But what I do want is a good story that's not putting the character, the way it's played is it's really not going back to how it was originally written. And he's correct.
Right.
So if this is what he's doing, I love Henry Cavill, and I don't blame him.
That's
so it's like, do your thing, bro. Yeah. Like, do what you got to do.
This is kind of Cavill being like, hey, if this isn't your gig, if this is what you signed up for, look, you done 3 amazing seasons from what I hear, and you know what? It's time to hang that sword up, and sheath it, and But for someone to say, oh, it's only because Superman, I don't know if I buy that, because how many actors do we see do multiple 4, sometimes 6 projects a year? Sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes, actors are working on multiple projects at once. I do think Superman's going to take a lot of his time. However, Cavill's a smart man, and he's not going to let Superman, as much as he loves the character, who knows, Warner Brothers Zaslav probably gave him a truckload of money and said, please come this way. Hey, you're not liking the Witcher series? Not liking doing that? Hey, it just so happens, we're moving forward with the Superman project. What do you think? And Cavill could be thinking, you know what? This really sucks. Not really happy right here. Oh, they're wanting to do Superman again? I want to jump on something I love. So that to me seems like the most logical scenario. What do you think to that?
No, I think that's completely. I agree with you.
If that's the case, I mean, I'm just saying.
If that's the case, I do agree with you. Now, I think that, like I said, now there is a way that Netflix, whenever you're talking about The Witcher, there is a way that Netflix, I think, can not make it as jarring to go to Liam Hemsworth. Like, I have nothing against Liam Hemsworth. I don't, not at all.
I think Cavill's the better actor.
You know what I mean? I think that Cavill's the better actor, but they can, if they do it smart, which I don't know if they will. Like I said, I agree with him. I don't know if this will ever, I don't know if they can, do whatever with the show.
Yeah.
After that. So I don't know if they can do that with the show, because he looks significantly older than Liam Hemsworth.
Yes.
So in order to fix this, I know we're talking about prequels, blah, 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 but they don't have to do a prequel. But if he was to hang it up at the very end of this series, then have him go off for a mission, and then whenever you introduce Liam Hemsworth, you say 20 years earlier or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, whatever.
And
that would be the smart thing to do, Gabe. Because if you try to get him to play the same ages as Henry Cavill is right there in that, and I am not going to believe it.
And maybe that's what maybe that's what Eric was saying here, is that it could be a little jarring for fans of the show, that you have Cavill, the way he looks and things. We've seen that with House of Dragon, the way, it didn't really bother me as much as, like you said, it had bothered you. But this might be a scenario where you bring in a Liam Hemsworth, who's now, I don't know the age gap there. I'm sure it's not much, but when you look at the two side by side, Liam Hemsworth does look a little younger. Who knows? Maybe with some good makeup, maybe with whatever, they're able to push that story forward. if they push through a season 4. We know how Netflix likes to cancel their seasons quite early, so who
Hmm.
knows? To me, I think Witcher's a big hit for them. I still want to go back and watch the series. That's something that's really up my alley. So I just unfortunately never had the chance to go back and watch that. And by the time I wanted to or had the chance to, I've done missed the first season or whatever, and I'm like, ugh, it is what it is. But question is for y'all: what do you think about this? What do you think about Henry Cavill leaving? Do you have any theories? Maybe what you think? At the end of the day, you know, the good news is, Wes, we got Superman back. That's all I know. So, who knows? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and let us know what you think. All right, Wes. So we're gonna get into our last topic here, and it's a doozy. Now, a lot of people in this industry, for what ungodly reason, doubt James Cameron. It's said in film circles, it's said above, the average film fan who've seen Titanic, Terminator, things like that, is, Cavill, James Cameron being in a position to deliver nothing but greatness. I don't know what it is, but this guy just knows how to deliver after deliver and over deliver above and beyond. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not the biggest Avatar fan. I enjoy the movie. I think it's fantastic. I'm just maybe it's just been so long since I've seen it. I've kind of, it's
That's me
kind
too.
of disconnected
That's me too.
from
Yeah.
my brain. But
Yeah.
Avatar 2 is coming. We only got two big blockbusters coming out by the end of the year, and that's Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, and then Avatar 2.
Hmm.
Well, we've been waiting for a new trailer. Wes, a new trailer dropped this morning, actually. And I got to tell you, some of the best visual work I've seen probably ever. And I don't know why that surprises me. Number one is James Cameron. Number two, it's Avatar, so it's going to look great. But let's take a look here and see what they got going on. So yeah, they dropped a new trailer. They dropped a new poster. I don't know if it's down through here or anything. There's a trailer there, but the poster looks great. It's just another floating heads. I mean, posters are fine. It's whatever. But Wes, you got a chance to look at the trailer. What do you think?
Well, okay, so I'm like you. I wasn't a huge, Avatar fan or anything like that. And, I mean, I was in high school whenever it came out. So, and back then I was like, oh my God, this is such a good movie, blah blah blah. And I think I watched it with Declan, my son,
Yeah,
a year or two ago. We were in the hospital whenever we were watching
I
it.
think I remember you
And
telling me that.
yeah, and he
Yeah.
loved it. Like, he was like, I want to watch the Blue People. Like, okay, cool. We'll watch the Blue People. And then I started watching and I was like, man, I was like, the dialogue in this is awful. You know what I mean? But like you said, the visuals and all that looked amazing. The new creatures that they're going to come out with this new film look awesome. And it actually, like, I was like, okay, all right.
Yeah.
After I watched it, I was like, all right, because you think of another Avatar and you're like, oh my God, it's been like, what, 14, 15 years? Like,
A long
um,
time.
it's been a
Long
long
time.
time. So I was like, and it better be good. Now, only complaint is they've built this movie to be like 3.5 hours long. Bro, you better put me in an intermission because I got to sit in a movie for 3.5 hours. My God, this better be like
Yeah.
Titanic with the two VHSs. You better take one out and put one back in and give me 15 minutes to go take a piss. I
Yeah.
can't do it, homie. Like, I'm good. Like, that's a long time.
Long
Like,
time.
like that. But if you look at it, all movies from recent times are all over 2 hours. The big movies. It's like you look at that and you look at something like I don't know, Men in Black, hour and 30 minutes, and fantastic. You know what I'm saying? Hour and 30 minutes, and you were like, "Oh, this is a
Right.
great film, and I want more."
Yeah.
You give me 3.5 hours, I'm like, "Please shoot me. I'm done. Like, I'm tapped out.
We could
Done."
we could watch this and be like, that was the perfect runtime. Right. We could watch it and be like, it went long enough. We could watch it
Right?
more than likely and be like, oh my God, it was too long. I'm long now. The average person might be different. I'm not usually scared away by a long movie, whether it be The Irishman, a Titanic, Lord of the Rings, Return of the King, Avengers Endgame. Long movies like that. It don't really sway me away. If I know I'm buying a ticket for a movie, I usually have it planned out anyway. Whether it's babysitter, whatever. I usually have it planned out anyway. Would I go at midnight to watch a 3 hour movie? Probably not.
Right. That's what
So,
I'm saying.
however, talking about the trailer's fantastic. I think it's a great trailer, but I do have one but here. This is coming from someone who just said, "Do not doubt James Cameron." He's delivered my favorite sci-fi film of all time in Terminator 2. I love Terminator 1. Terminator 2 is in my top 10 favorite movies of all time. Now, we don't know nothing about this movie. I know people that's been to CinemaCon and they're like, "Oh yeah, this movie looks great," and I got excited because it's James Cameron and it's Avatar. I enjoy the first Avatar. Maybe it's been so long since I've seen it, but I mean, there's a lot I remember from it. But there's I think if I go back and watch it today, I'll be like, "Oh yeah, that was great. James Cameron's awesome." Um, and I'm excited for this. I'm going to buy a ticket as soon as tickets go on sale. I'm going to watch this movie, but I don't even know what the movie is. If you don't tell the people what your 3.5 hour movie is, who's going to buy tickets? I think this film's going to do great at the box office. I do, but Wes, we don't even know what the what is anything new that we did. We learn anything new than what we did from the teaser trailer about a month
Not
ago
that
or
I
whenever that
know of.
was?
No. No.
You got the shot of that one guy saying, "Don't bring your war here" or whatever he said.
Yeah.
Yeah, we see him fighting. Okay, we know there's blue people. We know that one's pregnant. We know that one has kids. We know there's
But
humans.
we
We know
also
there's.
see robots.
We also see robots. We've seen robots in the first one.
I know,
We.
but that's what I'm saying. Like, we
Oh
see
yeah.
robots, so it's obviously got to be something to do with, and we see
Right.
their land burning. It's probably going to be the same that it was before. That's what worries me. It's going to be the same stuff, like where the humans are trying to get something from them because it's worth a lot of money.
Good. Well, they got several sequels, in development right now. It could be another 30 years before we get the third movie. So,
But God, I'll be
I
in the
mean,
ground by that tomorrow. I
I
can't do
hey,
that.
hey, we'll be drawing Social Security. It'd be fine. We have plenty all the time in the world to watch a 3 hour movie. It'd be fine. So, but look, if anyone can make it work, it's James Cameron. I'm still gonna watch this movie. I'm just saying, based off the trailer alone, I thought it was a great trailer. It is to me. It looks great. I thought the pacing was great. I thought it looks fantastic. I just want to know what the movie's about. That's all. Just want to know what the movie's about. So I don't know. Let us know what you guys think. What do you think about James Cameron? Are you a fan of Avatar? Are you one of those haters? I don't get that. A lot of haters on Avatar. That I don't understand, but it's whatever. What do you think about this film? Are you going to buy tickets to watch a 6.5 hour movie? Let us know. Let us know in the comments. Wes, before we wrap this up, man, where can people find you and just kind of wrap everything up, man?
All right, man. Well, first off, thank you guys again for joining us. This was fun. I hope you guys have a great week. You can find me at Wes Rathbone 86 on Twitter. Just hit me up there. Let me know what you guys think about, your horror films and all that good stuff that you guys enjoy. Because I need some more to watch. So I appreciate it, man. Gabe, tell them where they can find you, and let's wrap this thing up, dude.
All right, y'all can simply find me at Voice of Film here. I'm going to be posting on my TikTok pretty regularly here soon. It takes everything in me to get this YouTube channel going the way we'd like it to. Our last couple of videos after I'd say brief hiatus, but we got a lot of people with our standards coming in and viewing that. Really appreciate it. Thank you to each and every one of y'all. Thank you for being part of this journey with us, and look forward to more content. We're going to try to post twice a week. It should be Wednesdays and Fridays or somewhere around there, but we're going to try to stick to that little time frame. But again, we've been the usual skeptics. Thank you so much for watching us, and drop your thoughts in the comments. Let us know what you think about the topics, and we'll see y'all in the next video.